So recently it occurred to me that I don't have a hobby. I don't have something that I do in my free time that is fun and easy and no pressure. Because scrolling on the internet on social media is fun and I love doing it, but it's not the healthiest way to spend your free time. And many people like me don't have hobbies. But anyway, I didn't have a hobby until recently. Now I do. In my last video, I shared my newly discovered hobby. I have picked up watercolor painting, watercolor art, and I've been having fun with it. I'm still bad at it, but it's fun and it's a great way for me to spend my free time. So while doing my research for that video and the hobby that I wanted to pick up, I came across a few good hobby ideas in case there's anybody who is wondering what they can do in their free time aside from scrolling the internet. I want to be sharing those hobby ideas in this video. In case you're seeing my face and my content for the very first time, hi, my name is Sky. Welcome to my channel. Over here, I talk about minimalist lifestyle, creativity, and productivity. Everything is minimal and chill and easy. So if you like the vibe, you like what you're seeing, you like what you're feeling, please subscribe, okay? So I'll be dividing these hobby ideas into three. One will be creative, the other will be active, and the other will be under learning. I want to do this separation just in case you're someone who is like an introvert or extrovert, whatever your personality is. I promise you're going to find something that you can do among this list of hobbies. So under creative, let me start with what I discovered, which is art and painting. I've always loved art, but I can't draw, I can't paint. However, I've picked up watercolor painting, which I've been having fun with, and there are all kinds of mediums and tools that you can use for painting. There is oil, there's water, there's pencil, crayons, whatever you can find really that you can play around with. Something that will be low stake, no pressure for you. You don't have to be good at it. You don't have to have prior experience with drawing or painting. But getting involved in arts and painting and drawing is a very fun way to engage your mind, your hands, your eyes, and it's so fun and there's no pressure. You don't have to be Van Gogh or Picasso, just something fun. One thing you can do without necessarily creating art itself is to collect art. So there are people who have found joy in, going around galleries and going around art exhibitions to see what other people are doing and creating. It's a fun way for you to get out there. And this is a great date idea or something for you to meet other people or people that just like to go out generally. So getting to art galleries and seeing what other artists are presenting or showing is a great hobby that you can get into. Online, there are tons of collections and artists that you can read about from different eras, even historically and even modern times. Lots of artists right now online showing amazing works. You can get into that instead of just scrolling Instagram and Twitter and the rest of social media. Another creative idea that I find fun is DIY home decor. There are tons of DIY easy stuff that you can begin to get into on Pinterest and YouTube and Google. I suggest Pinterest because Pinterest is like a great resource for simple, fun DIY things that you can do around your house. So if you're like an introvert who doesn't really want to go out there and socialize, but you want to have fun, try and get into DIY home decor. There are tons of things you can do, easy stuff that you don't have to spend money on, that will come out fun and beautiful. Who knows, you might even find that you have a talent for these things. Photography is another creative hobby idea that I recommend. I myself am a photographer, but before I became a professional photographer, it used to be my hobby and I enjoy taking pictures of every single thing, every single way that I went with my phone. I didn't even have a camera at the time. So if you have a phone or you have a camera, if you can get one, getting into photography is one great hobby idea that I feel will occupy your mind. You learn new skills. You don't have to monetize this or become professional at it, but there's so many resources online that you can learn on how to take pictures even with your phone. And the good thing is that you can take pictures of literally anything, like anything around you. You don't have to have specific subjects. You can literally take pictures of anything, anywhere, everywhere, everybody. The next creative hobby idea that I recommend is to get into baking. I know this is a little active and it might be a little difficult if you're someone who is not used to following instructions, because baking is a very specific type of activity in the sense that you have to deal with recipes and measurements and timing. But I promise if you get into baking, it can become very obsessive. I bake myself like once in a while and I just don't do it all the time because, like I said, it's a very exacting type of hobby because you need to follow specific recipes and timing and ingredients, but it's very, very fun and you can bake so many things. You can bake breads and cakes. There are just a whole world of things that you can get into if you get into baking. It doesn't matter if you're a man or woman, whatever age you're in, you can get into baking. There are so many categories of baking, from breads to pastries. There's so many things you can do really. So baking is something that I feel everybody, anybody, introvert, extrovert, it's a great hobby idea. Another creative hobby idea that I really like is music. Now, most people listen to music just passively, or maybe they have like 1 or 2 artists that they like and they end it there. But there is a whole lot of new artists and new genres and new category of music that you can get into in case you don't have anything to do in your free time. You can convert your love for music into something much more fun by curating playlists. Now, there are people who are online, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you're using as a music streaming platform. There are people who go around creating and curating, different playlists for different things, from fitness to worship to love to dating. There are all kinds of playlists that regular folks go about curating. So if you're someone who likes music or who enjoys music, or even if you're not, I just want to start up, entering into music from point of view of listening, enjoying, and then curating playlists is one fun hobby that you can get into right now. Still under music, I have a friend who suddenly got interested in music vinyls. Those vinyls that, they store music back in the day. Apparently, vinyls are cool again, or they're getting cool again. So if you're someone who likes music or likes to collect music or discover new kinds of music or new aspects of music, looking into vinyl collection and vinyl curation is something that I feel like you might find interesting as a hobby. Now, segueing from that, you can get into learning about music, learning to play an instrument. I've always found people who could play instruments, like musical instruments, very cool. I can't play any. I mean, we all played the flute when we were in primary school, but learning how to play like a piano or even a guitar, I feel like it's a very cool hobby that I can get into, because it is a little tasking, like understanding the instrument and learning how to play and listening to teacher. Or even, I don't take in a class maybe, but I feel like learning how to play an instrument, a musical instrument, is a way for you to occupy your time and a great hobby to just have. Learning musical instruments aside, you can also learn a new language. I used to learn French up until this year. I just got tired. I was learning French on Duolingo for like over a year, off and on, over like a year or two, and I just got tired. But it was a very fun thing for me to do on my phone. So when you have your phone with you, instead of scrolling endlessly on Instagram and Twitter, learning a new language is something that I feel is a good hobby that you have, because you get to learn something new and gain new language skills while occupying your time productively. Still on that languages, you can also pick up sign language. It's something that I feel if you get to learn it might come in handy. You don't know if you meet somebody who is hearing impaired wherever you're going, and just for general knowledge, I feel learning sign language is something that you can pick up, and there are tons of resources here online, even here on YouTube, that can help you learn how to communicate in sign language. Now, even though I'm talking about learning under hobbies, I feel like learning can be fun depending on what you're learning. So one other hobby that you can get into is to learn about whatever you're interested in. Let's say, for example, you love cars, right? You can get into learning about cars, manufacturers, brands, history, how they are made, the spare parts, how to fix cars. I feel like it's a very great way to occupy your mind with something that you already like anyway, but you're getting new knowledge, you're getting new information, and you're occupying your time more productively. A great way to do this learning is through documentaries. I like documentaries because they're a little kind of educational. They go in depth compared to, let's say, films. So watch documentaries about whatever it is that's your interest, so that you can get to learn more about that interest. It's a great way for you to pass your time and learn something new, and there's no stake and there's no pressure. Now to more active hobbies. The first I'll talk about, and this is what I do, and even though it's a form of exercise, I find that it can become your hobby depending on how you look at it, and that's walking or hiking if you're like out in the West. But here we don't see it as hiking. I just take walks, and I found walks a very, very relaxing hobby that I can pick up and do it every single day. Again, it's low stakes, low pressure. It doesn't feel like you're doing serious exercise, but your body is benefiting, your mind is benefiting, and you can pass the time. One thing that I do when I'm taking walk is to leave my phone at home, so I'm not having to scroll through my phone and see what's happening on social media. So it be it's 30 minutes, 1 hour, whatever time you can block out for taking a walk or taking a hike. Keeping your phone aside is a great way for you to indulge in that hobby, and you are free from the shackles of scrolling. Another active hobby that you can pick up is gardening. Now, gardening here is like so broad. You can get into gardening, be it food or even house plants. I used to keep a few house plants, back in the year, like a few years ago, and then I had to move and whatever. But getting into gardening as an activity or as a hobby, it's a very worthwhile idea. I feel like you can get to grow different plants, get to learn about different plants, or even flowers, or get into spices and herbs like peppers, tomatoes, vegetables. And there's tons and tons of house plants, from aloes to cactus. There's just so many. Gardening is a whole world, that like so many things that you can do under gardening, and your hands are occupied, your mind is occupied, it's healthy for you, you get to breathe fresh air, you can even decorate your home with it in case you have the space. Swimming is another active hobby that I feel you can get into. If you don't know how to swim, maybe it's time for you to pick it up and learn how to swim. Not only will your body benefit from it, but it's a fun activity that you can do, that you can get into the water with your phone, and you can block out hours or a few, I don't know, minutes per day, every day, every week, whatever you can manage out of your busy schedule. Learning how to swim is one hobby that I can pick up right now. Another active hobby that I can pick up that I find very fascinating is martial arts. Again, there are so many options under martial arts, from karate to jiu-jitsu. There's just so many, really. So if you're someone who likes active hobbies, pick one martial arts today that you don't know about and learn all about it. You can even start learning the theoretical aspect online, and then maybe find a tutor or a trainer or a class that you can join around your neighborhood. It's a great way for you to occupy your time without scrolling the internet. In case there are any hobbies that you currently indulge in, or any ideas that you have that I didn't mention, please leave in the comment section. I'll be very happy to see them, or maybe even try them out. In case there's anybody who is looking for a hobby idea that I haven't mentioned, or you want to see something else, please look at the comments. You might find something there that you like. Please give the video a thumbs up. It helps my channel and my content a lot. By the way, you guys, we hit 900 subscribers yesterday. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for all who have subscribed. In case you haven't subscribed, please do that right now. Subscribe to my channel. It's free of charge, and I really appreciate the support. I'm going to see you in my next video. Okay, bye.